If you are a real estate agent and you are tired of paying for ads that flat out don't work, cold calling, door knocking, all the same old stuff that just seems to be getting you stuck in a rut, well, this is the channel for you. We are three rockstar agents who have come together with over 50 plus years in the training and sales industry, and we are hoping to pass that knowledge on to you. So subscribe to the channel and get ready to learn. Let's get started.
Good to have everybody. We'll keep letting them in, but let's go and get started. Just a quick reminder, guys, if you have not yet joined our Facebook group, be sure to do that, okay? Something pretty new in the last month or so. We're getting that ramped up just since Workplace isn't going anymore. We got a couple hundred of us in there. We'd like to get everybody in there if possible, so be sure to invite people in your groups, whatever. Make sure they get into that group. Great place for us to communicate. Anyway, it's good to be here. If you're a guest with us, welcome. You're welcome to come every week. We're here every Tuesday, same time, same Zoom link. It's always good just bringing in some top producers from all over the country and sharing things that they're doing that's working for them. It's been a challenging year for a lot of agents. I'm talking to agents every day. Some are doing good. Some are dying. Some have got third jobs and driving Uber and all kinds of stuff to make it work. And I get it, So there's new agents on here. There's seasoned agents, all kinds of agents, but you're going to get a lot out of today. So I'm going to let Kathy introduce TJ. Kathy, why don't you take it away? TJ, thank you very much for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
This doesn't benefit you in any way, shape, or form, but it's part of what we do at EXP. Collaboration, man. I love it. So great to have you.
Thank you so much, TJ. Yes, for being here. So guys, TJ runs, he is one of the co-founders, I guess, of the Abbott Martin team. They are down in the panhandle of Florida, but they are the #1 team in all of Florida, the whole state of Florida. Last year, they did about 425 transactions for about 325 million. They work with a lot of new construction, a lot of development. So TJ is going to talk to us today about that. So put your listening ears on because this guy knows what he's doing down there. And like I said, they're #1 team in all of Florida, the whole state. So take it away, TJ. Thank you so much for being here. We appreciate you.
Awesome. Thank you for the intro, Kathy. And it was great meeting you at the top 250. It was a great event. And to your point, Jeff, collaboration is one of the biggest reasons why we shifted to EXP. It's absolutely exceptional. And what I'll do, Kathy, is we're kind of doing similar things that you guys are doing, where we're bringing on some solid speakers. So when we get done, we kind of do something weekly, or I think it's bi-weekly, that y'all are more than welcome to jump on with us as well. We've got one happening with Abel, he's in the top 3 in Florida. This upcoming event, he's basically given the playbook of inner workings of teams. So if y'all want to do that, we're more than welcome to collaborate with you guys, because success breeds success. But yeah, guys, so I'm TJ Martin. I'm co-founder of Abbott Martin Group. Y'all got a little bit of tidbit about me, but at the end of the day, I'm kind of a new construction guy. It was in my blood. My dad was a builder growing up. And after college, I went straight into working for D.R. Horton, actually, and sat on site starting at age 21, and did that through till I was about 27. Then got burnt out and went and traveled for a year in Southeast Asia and disappeared for a little bit, which kind of brought me to the revelation of I love the new construction side of things. I'm not very much a corporate guy. I don't like being told what to do, but I like bringing some really cool product to the market. And what D.R. Horton and a couple other builders did was made me realize that I could bring a similar concept, but with heart and compassion for your buyers, because it's a big purchase. And working for some big box builders, there wasn't much emotion in it. It was just take it or leave it. And if you don't like it, we'll kick you to the curb. I didn't like that. I'm a relationship guy. So it really made me feel some type of way. So I said, hey, why don't I go find the right people we put in order and figure out how to make sure that they're not only solid developers and solid builders, but they also are good humans, and they want to treat people as humans and give them the respect they deserve as they're going through the build process and trusting you in that process, which is obviously, as you guys know, in the real estate world, not an easy game. I don't care where you're at. So with that being said, I'm going to kind of give you my playbook of how it all started, how I kind of gotten to where I've gotten. Right now, we've got 7 active developments that we are the sales team for. And on top of that, probably another, I would say 35 to 45 million just in spec builds with some builders in our marketplace as well. But I've got an 800 lot runway or so behind that. So we should have 7 developments now. We'll launch another 4 next year and then continue to pace after that. So exciting things. Obviously, we're in a very tough market. So it's nice when you can kind of control the inventory because you can kind of regulate your transactions and utilize price point and incentives when things aren't working so perfectly in the general real estate world. You've got a lot more flexibility in the construction world where you can kind of keep some transactions flowing. So with that being said, I'm just going to kind of run through what I went through, and then we can have some Q&A afterwards. I've got some things I can show you guys that I've used to either facilitate getting a deal with new construction or developers, or just stuff that I'm already using as a playbook of sales packets and stuff for developments that I'm doing. So, but anyways, we can get rolling. So the biggest thing that people miss the boat on is they go try to be the jack of all trades in a marketplace. And builders want people who are very intimate within their community. Not only do they know the school systems, the kids, the parents, but they also have very strong agent relationships. Because in the new construction world, agents are your best customers. And so you've got to be very in tune with that. So I encourage people not to just go bounce around and say, hey, like, let me go find a spot over here. Let me see if there's a builder in this section, yada, yada, yada. I very much encourage you to find a place that you're very passionate about because that will exude your sales process. But when you find that passionate place, the conversation with those builders becomes way more fluid because you're not having to kind of BS your way through it. You know the areas, you know the agents who are selling in the areas, you know the product that's selling in the areas. So you're kind of one step ahead. And so what I would encourage you to do is go to the community that you have fallen in love with or you want to fall in love with and you want to make a stamp there, whatever it may be, and go start looking at what these builders are doing around there. There's going to be spec builders, there's going to be custom home builders, there's going to be track builders, and then there's going to be your guys that just burn and turn and they build a semi-custom product, but they want to sell it when it's complete. They don't really want the rigmarole of holding people's hands in a custom build. So what I did was I found an area in South Walton County that really spoke to me. We're next to the beach, guys. So we're a beach town. We got the beach on one side and the bay on the other. And so I started looking across the pond, which I call it the bay side. And there's a lot of builders out there that were doing well. They were doing 7, 8 houses a year, but they weren't ever scaling. They were staying in the same place. And then I also found builders that were developing. They had 30 lots, 40 lots. They were being underserved.
You see how dirty they are?
So I would go into these model homes and I would realize that the agents sitting on site aren't the same agents all the time. It is just an open house. Hey, let me throw my new agents in here. Let me pray they know how to sell this thing. And let me use this as, hey, you can get buyers and as an agent attraction tool versus understanding that this person's giving you the opportunity of a lifetime, that it's not just a $500,000 house when there's runway times 30, you know what I mean? There's $15 million worth of deals there that they're entrusting you with. So what I did was I went and found those builders that were being underserved and I brought them value. So I'll take it 2 ways. The first way is your onesie twosie guy. He's building some houses in the area that you love. You go there and you do a bunch of research on that builder first. Before you speak to him, before you introduce yourself, you need to know his business. You need to know his product. You need to know what his price point sells for the most part, so that when you're walking up and going to speak to some of these guys, you're speaking in a way that you're pumping them up. Builders have ego. They want to hear how good they are. They want to hear how beautiful their product is. They want to hear what the consumer thinks and how they want them to think about their product. So when you go into what I did is I found 2 builders that I really loved. One was Bluescape Homes and one was Brock Built. And I said, these are really nice products. So I did a bunch of research on them and I spent some time in that neighborhood. Well, it's usually the guy that walks up to the job site that's probably somewhat clean cut in a nice truck. That's usually the builder. So I would stay somewhat around there, try and do my due diligence to where I could see that guy on site. And I would walk up and say, "Hey, I'm TJ Martin. I've been watching what you've been doing here. You've done an exceptional job. Your build is beautiful. Do you mind if I walk this home with you? I'm a local agent, and I think might have some buyers that may be interested in this. Can I take a look?" Most of them want to talk about themselves, so they're going to say, "Yeah, for sure, come take a look." Well, in that conversation process, I'm going through his company like I know it like the back of my hand. Hey, Mr. Johnson, I know that you own XYZ building company, and I see you've done 3 or 4 different houses in this neighborhood, all of which seem to be spectacular. Can you give me some insight of kind of why you decided this was your spot and what you love about it and kind of what brought you into the building realm? Get curious about them. They want to talk. So ask them questions, ask them different things about their kids. Do you have kids in the school systems around here? And when you kind of create that rapport, they start having a conversation with you in a different realm than, "Hi, I'm TJ Martin and I'd like to be your real estate agent." You're coming into there to just have a conversation of, "Hey, I might be able to bring you some value with some buyers in the fold. So let's have a conversation." So what I did is I went to those builders, started having those conversations. And what that did is it made me understand what they're searching for, because builders want deals. They want to be brought deals. They don't want to have to search for deals. They want their hand held so they can build houses. We bring the consumer and they just do what they do. They want to build houses. So with that being said, I'd go get all the information about what they do in that marketplace. And then I would go start doing what I consider to be somewhat good at, is finding the product and finding the property that I think would make sense for what they're doing. And then I go to them with a plan. I don't go to them saying, "Hey man, I found this lot. You should take a look at it." I go to them and I say, "Hey, I found this lot that seems to fit the mold of what you build in this marketplace. And here's my thoughts. The floor plan that you did on Johnson Avenue would go exceptional here. And here's why." I go through why and I say, "So let me guess, your average build cost around here is 250 a foot." "Oh no, it's closer to 300. Okay, let's talk about it." I'll do the back of the napkin math and say, "Well, if you built this house for $300 a foot and you took down the dirt for $500,000, I think I could sell this house for $2 million. That's going to leave you about a 25% return. Does that make sense? I mean, you don't have to rebid the project. You already know what you're building here. You know the marketplace that you're in, so you're not going to have to switch your sub base. What do you think?" And that's the ticket. That's when they go, "Wow, you spent time to learn my product, find a piece of dirt, understand how to back into the number, and now you're bringing me a deal that we can all put together to try and make something happen." You get instant qualifications, call it. That way that builders go, "Wow, I didn't get poached. I didn't get sold. They did the research before even coming to me and asking me for anything, and are backing into a number that the deal could or could not trade. But at the end of the day, you spent that time doing that." And I did that to probably 6, 7 different builders and landed with 2 that were just my money guys. They loved it. They loved that I could continue to bring them deals and bring them runway. And this is where it scaled. Once I started bringing them value, which is pretty much what they care about, is bringing them value and deflecting all the BS from them, they got really aggressive with how much money they would spend. So when we were successful with 2, they said, "I want to do 4." When we were successful with 4, they said, "What if we did 10?" When we're successful with 10, they said, "Okay, what are we looking at here?" And I said, "Okay, let's talk about economies of scale. So what if I started finding you guys subdivisions and we just recreated the wheel and kept it moving?" They said, "Okay, let's have a conversation." Well, what I started doing was I started going, and I'll show you guys what I put together here. I went to a group, the Bluescape Homes folks, and I said, "Guys, I think I found a parcel that we could do 45 lots on. I think that this is what the product we could do because it's new to the market. I think it would rent well, and I think our returns would look anywhere between 22 to 27%. And I think we can knock this thing out of the park." But I came to them with this, and I'm really bad at technology, so I'm going to try and figure out how to share. So essentially, I put this packet together. I got renderings put together. And when I look at this, I go, okay, 45 lots, average sales price of $1 million to, what is that, like 54 million or something like that. So I looked at that and said, okay, this is totally worth the investment. Let me get ahead of these guys and show them the playbook of how we're going to not only take down this dirt, but we're going to develop it, sell it out, and be done from inception of dirt to close out of the community. And so I basically put this whole thing together to ease their mind a bit and said, okay, guys, tell me what you think about this product, and let's have a conversation of what I think we can pace at from a sales standpoint. And if you'll build me a model home, I'll make sure I have 2 agents in there on site 7 days a week until we get this project sold out. And so essentially, I gave them this playbook, and it would blow your mind how open some of these builders are in spending a bunch of cash when you actually have it fixed for them in the beginning. When you overcome the objections that they're concerned about before they can even get to those objections, they look at you and go, okay, you're going to handle everything soup to nuts. And what I do, guys, is I handle all of it because I want to control it. So I handle the website, I handle the marketing, I handle the signage except for the marquee sign. I handle everything that they need done so that they can just build houses. That's all I want them to do is build houses. And when you go to them and you go, okay, you can do this on a grander scale, but I'm going to go ahead and be your sales team, and I'm going to take care of everything that you need. All you got to do is just build the product. They get very aggressive in their financing options to go start finding more product. And this essentially is what took me to the next level, is investing in myself to be ahead of the game and overcome their objections, to now this company and another company are my biggest developers. And here's the caveat, guys. When you go find the dirt, you control the environment. And so like Brock Built, who I work with, they've never used an outside real estate team. They run it like a DR Horton does in the 60 years of existence that they've been building. But the caveat for me was, guys, I found this dirt. I've got it entitled. It's ready to roll. But I'm just going to give it to Bluescape if y'all aren't going to let me be your listing team, because now I'm going to lose a boatload of listings just on the basis of selling you dirt. I want runway. I don't want just to sell you this piece of dirt, you go build it, and I didn't have anything to do on the back end of this deal. And they said, okay. And it was interesting. Once that happened, I just started finding more and more dirt and then creating more and more platforms like you're seeing right now to give them what I thought was going to be the proper play. And once you're successful once, they're bought in now. So they're going to continue to play ball with you. And that's where I've kind of blossomed this thing. Is I went to some builders that were only doing onesie twosies, got them to believe in themselves, and then got them to believe in me after that. And that's where the relationship building comes into play. And that's where thinking outside of the box and doing the research ahead of time and being okay with going up to a job site, shaking somebody's hand and having a conversation about what they're building, what they're doing. What does their pipeline look like? Are you a spec builder, or do you only build custom homes? You know, that's going to change your perspective. There's plenty of ways to make money with custom home builders. I sell a lot of custom homes, just the inception of the dirt, and I get paid on 3% at a minimum on the construction contract number. So you take down a piece of dirt, the construction contract's $1 million to build the house. I'm making 3% of that $1 million at a minimum because I brought you the buyer to go build that custom home for. And so that's where a lot of agents miss the boat too, is they start the first part of the process. Buyer comes along and says, hey, I would like to buy a lot. I want to buy a lot in this area because I'm going to build either now or in the future, or whatever it may be. They go find the lot and they stop there. Well, you should be full service. You should be that advisor and go, well, I see that you're wanting a lot. Do you have a builder in mind? And I live in a transient area, so most of these people are moving from out of town, and they don't have that as a backbone. So I have multiple builders that I know. I know some of them are the $10 million plus. Some of them are, your $5 million players. Some of them are $500,000 houses, and some of them are affordable townhomes. Whatever it may be, go find those builders in your marketplace that you align with, and then ask them the question, hey, let me ask you something. If I were to bring you some buyers, what would that pay structure look like if I was consistent in bringing you buyers to build your product with? Oh, well, we don't pay for that. Okay. Well, wouldn't the value add be me having to bring a customer to you and you don't have to worry about customer acquisition? What would that look like? And if we were transparent about this, then what would it matter? If I'm transparent with my clients that, hey, I'm going to get paid for bringing this builder in because I'm going to be a second set of eyes. I'm going to walk the home for you. I'm going to get you progress photos. I'm going to make sure all the title stuff works right. I'm going to make sure your financing is in order and make sure you don't miss any of these steps. Don't you find some value in that? Well, yeah, okay, of course, then go ahead and put it on the bid sheet that you're paying me 3%, just like we deal with the NAR settlement now. You show your value and they'll pay for it. And so at the end of the day, put it on the bid sheet and show, hey, you're paying me 3%, then it's not going to affect your bottom line, Mr. Builder. But if you don't ask, you don't receive. And a lot of these guys are starving for new builds because obviously people are afraid of construction loans right now. But when you have the proper financing people that you deal with and the proper organization that you can put together in the new construction world, you mitigate all of those things for these guys. And like I said, I've built, I don't know, 140 specs in my career, and all I cared about was people deflecting all the nonsense from me and let me just get these builds done because that's where I make my money. And as the agent, don't be the nuisance. Don't be the one coming in there with puff in your chest. If there's a conversation to be had that you think that something may be out of order, make it a sidebar conversation because buyers get scared. They'll freak out if next thing you know, a wall's in the wrong place or a window's in the wrong place when it's very easy to mitigate those things. But if you become that nuisance to the builder, he'll push you away immediately. You have to deflect that and also keep your buyer in line for them to understand, hey, no house is perfect. I'm going to have my finger on the pulse. I know this builder intimately. We've done multiple deals together, and there's always a communication factor that we can get through any issue that we may have in the construction process because it's a scary thing for a lot of people to do unless you're in the business. And so basically what I've done to build what we've built is I invested in myself to create value for builders in my marketplace to then in turn show them what they really could do with the proper team and the proper sales team. And then the floodgates opened with finances. And I basically took over I would say, land positions of what your big box builders were searching for and brought a more intimate process to the deal where I also can raise prices because selections appointments, I've got a charcuterie board with a glass of champagne. I've got a designer that meets with you intimately and you have your own design meeting with them. It's not just some, hey, look at this board, check it out, pick something that you like. It's an intimate process. I make sure you're doing a walkthrough during your framing, during your drywall. Once we get cabinets set, I make sure that there's a process so that the builder isn't running around crazy either because he's getting a phone call every single day. Why is the plumber not here? Why is this not happening? That's my job to have those conversations and facilitate those things so that the builder can continue to pace and we all can continue to close deals is essentially kind of how I've built that out.
This is excellent. It makes me think there are so many of these smaller builders out there. We all know the Lennars and the DR Hortons and all this, these big corporate giants, whatever, we go to them and it's an easy process. But to get something like this going, we're the marketers. I mean, you think about that. I mean, I say it all the time, the best marketer wins. I mean, that's, we when we learn marketing, and the builders aren't marketers. They're home builders.
That's
they don't
right.
know the first thing about it. They're like a lost ball in high weeds, trying to figure out, like, how do I bring people in? If you can have that conversation and show them how you can help them with that, whatever, I can see creating that relationship and doing this kind of stuff. I mean, I love that packet that you put together. That was awesome. I mean, that thing we just scrolled through.
Yeah.
Go back to your first one. When did you do your very first builder? Like, when was that? I mean, like 3 years ago, 5 years ago? Like, how long ago?
7 years ago.
7 years ago?
Almost 8 years ago.
Let me ask you, what were some things that you did, like that first builder? What were some, obviously you've learned a ton. Now you just know what you're doing. But like for us, who've never done something like this, and you're giving us all these things of what to do. What were some mistakes that you made, if you can think back, like, wow, if I could go back and redo that first one, here's some just big lessons that I learned during that first one. Can you think of anything that jumps out?
Yeah, I mean, the one lesson that I learned, the first deal that I ever did was I was watching this community. They had a very high level agent in there running what they thought was a community. They had 2 homes built and nothing sold. I had watched it for about 3 or 4 months, and not one house came out of the ground. I didn't see anything go pending. And so I'm like, man, like this is a great community in an amazing location. What's wrong here? So I said, I'm going to go walk the model home. So I went and walked the model home, and the packet that I got was a full blown set of plans from the builder, which is for that house was probably worth $40,000. So she was giving out the full blown engineered drawn set of plans.
Oh, wow.
She didn't know that there was an amenity on the water. There was a dock on the water. And she also didn't know what lots that her owner owned in the community in case somebody wanted to buy a to be built and say, hey, I like this house. Do you have any other lots in the community that we could build this house on? She had no clue. And I was like, you don't know that there's a dock on this lake right back here. And so seeing that, and I asked her, I said, hey, how long have you worked in this community? And she was like, this is my second day. And I said, okay, how long have you been in real estate? And she was like, about 3 months. And I said, there it goes. It's an agent training ground. It's the easiest way to put a warm body in there that can let people come walk through the door. And then let's pray that the sales process doesn't have to work, just the product sells itself. And that was my aha moment of nobody's doing the consistency like a DR Horton or a Lennar does for your small boutique builders that are doing 5, 10, 25 homes a year. And that's where I saw, after that, I started doing that same research and realized quickly how underserved some of these boutique builders were, because nobody was taking them seriously in a way that they would invest in true on-site agents and true people to own the community. So it wasn't personally my mistake, but it was a mistake that I saw that kind of opened up the door for me to see why they were missing the boat. But I would say that my mistake, I think, in the beginning was I missed a couple really solid builders, Jeff, because I wasn't prepared to answer the questions that they were asking me. And I would come in as a young gunner, hey, I would like to have a conversation with you. And then they would flip the role on me and start asking me questions about them to see how much I knew about their product. And I failed. And they were like, listen, don't come onto my job site again if you're going to try and pitch me, but you don't know anything about me. And that was also my aha moment of, I need to come with value. I need to come with an understanding of the market and probably come with something that might pique their interest a little bit to keep me top of mind. And that's where I failed. And that's why I've always tried to be one step ahead, Jeff, is because I realized real quickly that they know their product extremely well. And if you know enough to be dangerous, they immediately give you that respect of a longer conversation. So I would say my biggest failure was not being prepared for the first couple of builders I stepped onto their job sites.
Okay.
One question to follow up on the mistake with the agent, them not having their agents trained properly. What did you do to capitalize on that? Like,
I had a conversation with the builder and I said, hey, have you walked through your model home recently? And he was like, no, I haven't. I said, well, if you're around, I would go walk through your model home and just have a conversation with the agent that's on site. I walked your home, and I'm just going to be quite frank. I think that there should be some knowledge that they should know. At the end of the day, I think that you're going to perform in this neighborhood, but I do think you should go walk your model and just have a conversation with some of the agents on site. And he was like, okay. And I had met him in passing, but it wasn't anything like a strong relationship like we have now. And I just left it at that and just kind of stepped away because I didn't want to super overstep, but I also thought it was completely asinine that the plans that were being given out were 40 pages engineered drawn plans like that. That's not good. You know what I mean? And so I was a bit concerned for him just in that regard too. I think that was pretty rough to be doing that. And so he went and did that. And then probably 2 days later, he said, hey, can you come meet me in my office? And I had something prepared like you guys just saw. And I said, yeah. And he said, well, tell me why I should pick you, why you would do something different. I said, well, let me show you what my thoughts are. And I had some renderings done. I had some things put together that I had already done before I even went and walked that model. And he was like, you put all this together for no reason. Like you didn't know you were going to do anything with me. I said, yeah, I really love your community. And I think that we could do something really cool there. And we ended up, they fired them and we got hired. They had 2 sold. They had 33 lots sold, 33 lots left in the community. And we ended up selling out that community in 7 months. And then after that, he said, let's go find 200 lots because I want to do 100 lots a year. And I said, okay. And we've got 680 or 630 with him in the pipeline as of right now.
Wow.
Obviously, it's a struggle right now in this marketplace. And
Yeah.
I would say that probably 45% of what we have is all investor driven in between that 1 and 2 million mark. So I'm wanting to pull my hair out, but or lose all my hair. But at the end of the day, we've become such close friends and we've been in the trenches together. We win together, we lose together, and we go through it. In the same way he's bleeding money, I'm bleeding money, and we're going to power through it together, and we're going to come out on the other side. But we are fortunate enough to diversify, and he does have some townhome product that's selling and some primary residence stuff that's selling. But at the end of the day, we've built such a strong relationship that he's like family to me now. So
Great. There's a couple of questions in here. Courtney had said, what did you use to create your renderings?
a graphic designer because I'm not very good at this stuff. And this was before kind of this whole AI boom. AI can kind of put that stuff together. I've done some stuff in Chat GPT and then some stuff in Gemini that is pretty quick. But I've got a graphic designer here that does renderings specifically that I hired to do these things.
Did you do that right off the bat? Get a graphic designer before you even had your deal, like with that guy, to put something together for yourself?
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's a key point. Like, he's investing money before he even had his first deal, right? He's getting ready he's getting prepared, knowing, he's betting on himself, like you said earlier in the conversation. He's betting on himself, knowing that he is going to, if he just continues down the track, he's going to land a builder. So Robert asked if you could share your contract with the builder, taking out their name and yeah.
Yeah, I'll put that in the chat. I've got a
blank
couple
contract,
Yeah.
Yep, I'll send you our builder contract. And we also own a title company, so it's like you got to close at our title company as well. But the builder contract is like any other builder contract, pretty one-sided. But I'll send it out, and you guys can take a look at it, and you can manipulate it however you want, depending on deposits and things like that. We ask for a bigger deposit because we aren't a monster builder with a bunch of financial backing like a D.R. Horton. So if you're going to execute a contract with us, we want you to be in it to win it. And that's what kind of really helped us through these last 24 months is having a good amount of deposit down. It's crazy when you have $100,000 of somebody's money, how they can figure out how to close on a deal versus, a $10,000 deposit.
Yeah.
Last thing, Robert said that he never heard of builders that would let you take that much involvement. I think you kind of talked about that. It's building that relationship and, bringing them things of value. But anything else you want to touch on that?
Well, the goal is to have minimal involvement, is to take the consumer and you kind of deflect from the builder. Hey, like I can help facilitate the questions that you have. If you go walk the property, I would like to be there with you to make sure that I can take notes down of whatever may be right, whatever may be wrong. And then if you've got any issues in regards to fit and finish or design selections, I can help be a part of that. So the goal for me was always to make sure that the builder can build and I can bring the value of making sure that I can control my buyer in that regard so that they aren't getting pulled all over the place. And that's where builders find a lot of value in agents, is the agents that can make sure that they don't magnify an issue. There's always going to be an issue building a house. I don't care which way you slice it. If you're the person that goes in and magnifies it and beats your chest and is like, look at me, I'm gonna handle this problem, and I'm gonna go to this builder and I'm gonna make them look stupid and we're gonna get this done right, they're gonna hate you. But if you go to them and say, hey, I just wanted to let you know my buyer did mention that y'all missed this grout color that was supposed to be a different color in the master bath. I do need to have a conversation with you so we can kind of work that out. Here's the selection that I have, that I was there and I put all these notes down. Can we make sure that that selection is the one you installed? Because according to the buyer, it's not. Let's have a conversation. That's the issue they want you to be the buffer for. so that they don't have a mad buyer coming into the house, grabbing subcontractors, ripping things out, saying, don't do this, stop now. It's all these different things that builders have to deal with. When you become a partner of theirs and you become somebody who helps diffuse situations to keep things in proper order, that's when they see a boatload of value in you. So my goal would not to be super involved with the builder. It would just be more involved with keeping the buyer at bay during a 10 to 12 month build process.
It makes me think, TJ, like even to go start with, like just find a local builder, just a smaller builder. They're doing 4 or 5 homes a year or something, but have that conversation. Meet them. You can maybe help them market a couple homes and get something done there. Whatever, but you're going to find those people. Yeah, I'd love to take it to 10 next year. Yeah, I'd love to take it to 20 the next year. I'd love to get build something. You've got those people out there, just like we're building our businesses. They want to build theirs, whatever. And if you can be that person that gets in there early on and facilitate that, start small, but get bigger and bigger. You can learn to do, I think, through the process exactly what you've been able to do. I mean, does that make sense?
100%. Like I would encourage you to start out with the guy who is doing 2 to 3 homes a year, maybe it's 5 or 6, and bring the value to him. And then that's when they're going to, him or her, and then you're going to feel their growth pattern change when they feel confident in the counterpart that they have in the sales process, because they don't want to sit with a sitting spec. So what I've done as well is with all this new easy videography stuff you can do from your phone, things like that. Right. I'll go and do a whole video and get a whole video done for a builder. Because let's be real, guys, builders aren't very techie either. And so when you go to them and you go, hey, man, I just wanted to show you this cool video I did for your house. I'm going to use this to try and cultivate buyers for you during your build process. And I'll keep you in the loop. I hope this works. And you can almost leave it at that. And they go, wait, so you did this whole video just to cultivate a buyer for me, and you don't know me from Adam? Yeah, I did, because I love your product and I'd love to learn more about your product. It's those little touch points that you went ahead and did something out of the ordinary that most agents won't go do to help cultivate that relationship. They want to see that. And that's where agents are missing the boat. They think it's rocket science. It's not. All it is going and spending time showcasing your value to that builder. They'll end up circling back, because at the end of the day, they need sales, and somebody who's proactive instead of reactive is what they need. Because once again, sitting specs cost them money, and build time costs them money. Interest eats away at their profits. So when you have people who are top of mind, you're one step ahead of the game, and you're doing things for them that they never even asked you to do, unannounced, pro bono, that's when their ears perk up and they go, this person's actually dedicated to me. This person loves what I'm doing enough to be able to go spend their personal time bringing me something that makes my house look great. Thank you for that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and it seems like for any of us that are considering even thinking about this, it's a great time to do it. I mean, builders right now are hurting just like everybody else out there. I mean, their sales are down. They've got homes that have sat there for months, and
that's exactly right.
Hey, Tracy, are you able to unmute Tracy Wiggins?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Can you ask your question that you put in the chat? Do you mind about the percentage?
Yeah, so I was wondering, are you held captive to that builder? Because oftentimes you can't sell outside of that. And also, did you negotiate a percentage? Because I know the listing agents typically get a little lower percentage than what you prefer. How did that go for you?
So in regards to, what was the first question again?
Well, are you held captive to that builder? Like, can you sell outside of that builder?
Yes, and that is a caveat, Tracy, to what I do. Is we also run a real estate team, and they have to understand that. And so, yes, we can sell outside. Now, my on-site agents, if you're on site, you can't leave and go do an inspection. You can't leave and go do a showing and leave my home unattended.
Yes, I'm saying that.
But anytime after hours or anytime you're not on site, you're more than welcome to go sell outside product.
Okay.
And then what I do commission wise for my developments, if it's a one-off, I'll get 6% and I'll split it 50-50, 3 and 3. But for my developments, I'll get 6%. I have 2 on-site agents per development. The on-site team and Abbott Martin Group, we keep 3.5, but we pay out 2.5. My on-site agents get 1.75% as the listing fee. If we double side the deal, I give them an additional 0.5 point Now, here's the caveat. This is how I've been able to recruit some top DR Horton agents, Lennar agents, is not only what you said, Tracy, hey, you can sell outside of just selling your builder product, but I
Mhm.
also let them know that they can personally double side a deal. If it's your sphere buyer and you bring your
Yeah.
sphere buyer to one of our developments, not only are you going to get your portion of the list side, we're going to treat you like any other agent that could work for any other brokerage that came in and brought their buyer and pay you full bore what you deserve as the buyer's agent as well.
I love that. Can you share
Excellent.
that pay structure? Because I have a team as well, and I want to see how I could bring that to my team.
Absolutely. And
Thank you.
Tracy, I vary on price point.
Right.
Like
Mhm.
obviously, if I have a lower price point product, I'll usually probably drop that to 1.5 to
Mhm.
1.25% on the
Mhm.
list side.
Mhm.
But if I have some bigger margin product, sometimes let me rephrase that. I had that backwards. On my lower product, I'll do a higher commission. On my
Correct.
higher end product, I'll do a lower commission because their commission payout. Like I've got an
It could be huge.
exactly. My ASP is 1,700,000. So it's like,
Right.
listen, if making $25,000 a house as an on-site agent isn't good enough for you, then sorry,
I
sorry.
get it. Thank you for being so
Um,
kind and sharing so much. It's been amazing.
This is
yeah, no,
excellent.
and I love it. And Tracy, if you've got any questions, I can put my contact info in there as well. I love just talking shop and helping people kind of grow that platform because I think it's a need in the market that people really need. And I think it's a way for agents to really own their market. I
Hmm.
got told when I was 21 years old that if you control the listings, you control your destiny. And
Hmm.
we've now gotten so big that I can almost create my own comps in certain neighborhoods. You know what I mean? Where I can kind of
Right.
Right.
control things in a way that helps you also build your ancillary businesses. So, title company, we use our title company and it's embedded in our contracts. We've got a
Wow.
mortgage JV. Our mortgage JV is our preferred lender. So it's in your capture rate. My minimum expectation is the 70% capture rate, but at the end of the day, it keeps those juices flowing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It keeps things moving.
My goodness. Thank you so much. Bless you for that.
So
Yeah.
good. I have a basic question. So for agents that haven't really dove into this aspect of it but have interest in it, when you first started, how did you know that a piece of dirt was a good piece of dirt, versus not a great, like here in Nashville, there's a ton of rock everywhere, right?
Yeah.
So depending on the rock, there's a lot of development costs, right? And
Yep.
so how do you know if one piece of dirt is better than another?
I put my eyes on it. You know what I mean? Like we don't have rock and stuff like y'all do in Nashville, but we have heavy topography and fill dirt's a lot of money. So what I'll do is I'll go out to the site, put on some boots, try and at least get as far back as I can to see what I'm working with. If I feel it's a little squirrely, then I make sure that the builder I'm presenting it to knows that, and I say, hey, listen, it seems to be a lot of slope from front to back, so this deal may work, it may not work, but I personally think if we can get it for the right price, we put a 30-day due diligence period on there. And within those 30 days, let's rip through it and see if we can figure out if this does make sense. And if it doesn't, we'll just cancel the contract. And in Florida, with vacant land contracts, during your due diligence period, is if you can cancel for any reason that you want and get your earnest money back. So essentially, we'll tie up the dirt to make sure that it is a good investment for the builder. In larger tracks, I take a longer time with. I won't take down a larger track of dirt unless I have at a minimum 90 days with an option to extend 30 for a due diligence period.
And how do you tie up the dirt before you present all this to a builder so they don't come in behind you?
Well, I would hope that your relationship and the buyer broker agreement states that they've got to perform with you. It depends. So for me, I don't really
They're
worry about
new,
that.
just, first time doing this, agents, here, a lot of agents haven't done it. So for the new ones, how do you secure, before you go pitch, you're a builder that's building 4 or 5,
Yep.
homes, how are you securing that so that, again, they don't go behind you? Or do
I
you?
mean, I would just simply say, listen, I've been studying your product. I know kind of what your sales price looks like, and I kind of understand exactly what you're building. So I've got a couple of lots that I think might be the right fit for you. If you're open to it, I'd like to show them to you. But obviously, according to these new NAR rules, I really got to get this buyer broker agreement signed. But at the end of the day, I can make it property specific for you, so you're not married to me. And we'll go take a look at a couple of these lots and see if they make sense.
Perfect. Gotcha.
Let me,
Gil?
TJ, has there ever been a time where you've decided this just isn't working? I need to walk away. We need to separate. I'm sure that's happened too.
Yep, and it once they started speaking to my on-site agents with some extreme disrespect, and also speaking to myself in that way, and making us feel like we were an employee and not a partner, is when I'm going to step away. Because at the end of the day, we fall on the sword together. We're in the trenches together. We're building houses. We're not just doing hey, go under contract and close in 30 days. You're going to end up spending 10 to 12 months with these folks through some pretty intimate situations that you've got to have the right partner in place, because then now you're battling the builder, and you're trying to help your client, but now they're battling you at the same time because the builder that you recommended is not doing what's proper for the consumer, which is why I said in the beginning, there's no way I'm going to partner with anybody that doesn't have the empathy and understanding of what buyers go through to build a home. I just won't deal with it, because it's a very stressful process, especially for couples with kids, and you got a lot of things on your plate. If you're not willing to have a heart and hear people out, then you're not really the person for me. And yes, it happened, and unfortunately, the guys crushes it. And for me, it was a burn. But when my on-site agents were telling me some of these things, and then it was done to me, there was just no room in that for us to be a part of.
Yeah, it's okay to walk away sometimes. I mean,
it is, and what's
the
funny is
mental stress, the mental headaches, the stress. You're going to bring that into your home and into your family. I mean, it's just like you do have to weigh that out a little bit. Is this going to be worth it? I mean, money's not
100%.
everything. It's just not.
2 weeks later, Jeff, he circled back and was like, "I apologize. Like, can we get back together?" I'm like, "Nah, man, you made your bed. You got to sleep in that one."
Yeah. That's
and
good.
So it was unfortunate, but my team.
Share with everybody. Kathy did just briefly. I know you're the number one team down there in Florida, but share your numbers. What this has done for you, like what your numbers here just the last couple of years with what this has led for you and your team. Share those numbers with everybody.
Yeah. So I mean,
At this point, you're 7 years into it, so it's like this isn't something everybody can expect like 6 months from now. But again, you've built something here that is like huge.
Yes.
In addition to that, TJ, I'd love for you to share the vision, right? You started small, right? For the agents who haven't started yet, right? You started small. Just paint that whole vision of what you did, and how you start small and then this mushroomed.
Yeah. So from a new construction standpoint, like right now, I just looked real quick. We're at 327 million in production right now, with a total of 342 transactions. I would say out of that 327 million, this year was slow. I'd say we did probably 65 million of that was new construction. My goal is for us to be at a minimum of 100 million in new construction sales that are closed sales in a year, with a pipeline behind that of at a minimum 50 million as new year starts. And so it basically, I started with a guy named Muhammad and McGee's. They're brothers over this way, born and raised in Panama City Beach, Florida. Those were the guys that they were getting their plans given out to everybody. We did Preserve It. It was called Preserve It Inlet Beach. We ended up selling it out in 7 months. And after that, because we were moving so quick, they had to hire a purchasing manager. They had to hire another superintendent. So by the time we were done, they had already scaled their business with me. That they're like, well, we got all these employees now. We got to do this again. And so fortunately, during that time, they gave me that notion. So I had been working on Runway behind them to say, hey, I've already found an entitled piece. I was trying to find stuff that they wouldn't have to put infrastructure in and horizontal infrastructure. So I found a couple other pieces, and I said, hey guys, would you be open to, because that was Bay County. I said, would you be open to Walton County? That's kind of my bread and butter. And they were like, well, what are you looking at? And I threw a couple projects at them, and they said, let's do one or two of these, see how they go. And that was 8 years ago, and we're still very dear friends. And what's funny is, just like I said earlier, success breeds success. Once the market started seeing us doing that, builders were reaching out to us going, "Hey, I see what you're doing. How do you do that? And can you do it for me?" I've realized that my bandwidth is only what it can be. So taking on Bluescape, and then Brock Built was a huge conglomerate out of Atlanta. They wanted to come into our market. They wanted to buy a track from the guys that I was just talking about. My guys were like, "No, we're not selling." And I said, "Well, I have a couple other pieces we could talk about." But I did make sure, I had a good conversation with the guys at Bluescape and said, "Hey, why don't we meet, have a conversation?" There's strength in numbers. D.R. Horton was killing us in this market. I said, "Why don't we have a conversation? Let's play nice in the sandbox, and let's start utilizing each other's assets to compete against the DRs and the Lennars of the world, but do it in a way that we can give similar incentives. We can go try and buy futures to buy down rates. We can do a lot of these things as a driving force versus y'all competing and acting like we're looking up each other's skirts. We're not, one way or the other, we're going to see y'all's product anyways. So let's combine forces." And so that's what happened. We ended up having a meeting of the minds. They ended up trading two deals where they had a townhome deal. The other folks had a single family deal. They wanted each. So they traded. And then it was just gangbusters from there, where it was like, "Hey, if you don't want it, Brock Built's going to take it. If Brock doesn't want it, Bluescape will take it." And I would go to say that we've got the strongest land positions in all of South Walton County over DR and Lennar. But it just blossomed in a way that everybody was thinking selflessly. And I was doing things ahead of them to try and make sure that they understood and had confidence in their own abilities of how we could pace forward. And now, I mean, we meet every week. We go over our projections. We have yearly projections, monthly projections. We understand what's working, what's not working. And we've kind of created our own little staple in this market, that, I'm doing this conversation with you, but I also am doing a training with Dustin. I think, did you meet Dustin Runyon? That's a monster producer out in Arizona.
Yeah.
So I'm doing some coaching for him. He just took down like $150 million worth of developments. But it's interesting because nobody's really tried to really hone in on some of these builders, and some of them are absolutely exceptional. They just don't believe in themselves enough to go pull the trigger on something bigger than what they're used to. They don't want to get out of their comfort zone. If they're making good money building 10 custom homes a year, they're complacent until you show them, well, what if we could do it with the same amount of energy? I could do that 50 times for you, because we're just recreating the same floor plan. And they're like, "Okay, let's talk about it." But once again, it was just because I was ahead of them, showing them the light at the end of the tunnel versus going, "Hey, here's this piece of dirt. I have no clue what we're going to do with it, but it could be a cool play." They're going to go, "Well, nah, that's scary to me." But if I'm like, "I think I'm going to sell 3 a month. Here's the 4 floor plans we do. I think you can build them each for 250 grand a piece. I think your profit margins are going to land at 25% plus. Here's how the numbers work. I can have your marketing, your website handled. All I need you to do is get your supers over here. Let's start building some houses." They're like, "Okay, let's rock and roll." Just got to be one step ahead of them.
Wow.
Incredibly, you built this up in 7 years. I mean, $100 million in new construction almost, or that's your goal this year this coming year. That's incredible. You've done that in 7 years. And so, and you started this off, and we all hear this in real estate. If you control the listings, you control your business, right? And so, I mean, imagine if you go out there and just start like he did 7 years ago with a small builder, 4 or 5, builders. But we have about 5, well, really 3 minutes now. So I just want to make sure that we open this up, Jeff, for anybody that's got any questions.
Any other questions at all, guys, that you want to hit for TJ? TJ, could you find that, if it's right there, you can send it to us, or if you have time to put it in the chat, just your contract with the builder.
Yeah.
That you set up, if that's something you could just throw in here, just a blank contract, so we could, share that with people for those that
I do basically a listing agreement with an addendum to it that states basically everything that I'm going to do, everything that I expect them to do and expect them to pay for. And then basically I do basically an exhibit A that once I do a new release, I send them, basically I do it in phases. So after 10 lots, I'll send a new release with new pricing, because we're probably going to raise pricing. They execute that, and then I continue to send those addendums. But for the most part, it's pretty simple stuff.
Right. Okay. Cool.
But I'll send that to you. Yep.
If you could share that with Kathy or me,
Yeah.
we can get. We'll make sure we get it, guys. We'll
Yeah.
make sure when we get the video uploaded, that'll be in there in the comments
Yeah.
and stuff. We'll share that with everybody again in our on the website on the Freedom Team YouTube or Facebook page.
Yep. And then I threw a curveball out there the other day, and now I'm selling a 11-acre Gulf front development with 30 interior lots and 4 Gulf fronts, all strictly lots. There's no lot home packages, just selling the dirt. And I saw this piece, and I'm like, man, we've got to really pay attention to this. 11 acres on the Gulf ain't easy to find. And I was like, well, I think we need to showcase something really cool of what we think that project's going to look like, and see what they say. And so I'll drop this in the chat too. It's like a 1.5-minute video. And we've got this listing now, but basically I had one of our architects draw out houses to be on each lot so it would look finished. And I got this video done, and the guy was like, wow, this is exceptional. And it was actually an architect who put this together real time. So this is coming to you now in the chat. If you want to show that, Jeff, it's pretty exceptional. It might take a minute to load, it looks like. And while we're doing that, let me see if I can find this other. So we need builder contract, and then we need builder listing agreement.
We could share
And then
that.
I'll share one of those packets too.
Are you good, TJ? I mean, I think you are. Can we share your contact info in here for anybody? I know Tracy, different ones that might want to just reach out to you with specific questions. Is that you're good to do that?
Yep, no worries. Yeah, that's fine. I don't know why this is taking so long. It's not a very long video, but yeah, guys, I have no problem sharing my playbook. If you've got any questions or anything in regards to builders, or how you can back into a number or whatever it may be, and really, Chat GPT has kind of blown my mind. Like, I've never been a tech guy, but if you're just a little bit nervous and don't understand, or you just want to get a ballpark of build cost or whatever it may be, I've used chat a lot to kind of help me, and especially in markets that I'm unfamiliar with. I'll utilize chat to kind of help me figure out what I need to know to be dangerous enough to have an educated conversation. But this thing's about to load and pop in. But this was probably one of the cooler videos that we put together, and I've never really done the just lots, not lot home packages. But this kind of showcased what it would look like finished when people do finish building their houses. And the developer was like, man, this is super cool. I don't know if that can pull
Let
up.
me, here, hold on a second.
Bring it up. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll bring it up here and just share it and play it here. Hang tight.
While he's doing that, thank you again, TJ. This has been fantastic. Just so good.
Yeah, and I'm sorry I'm not like that
just,
PowerPoint presentation kind of guy, but
yeah, you did great. Like Tracy said, I feel the freedom, like all freedom in it. She just, it really gives a great path for agents to take hold of, like you did. It's 7 years you've built, this amazing business for you and your team.
I'm gonna play this video, TJ. If you don't mind, just maybe put your contact info in the chat while I'm playing this. Okay, so guys, I'll play this real quick. Turn up the volume. Let's see. Wait, volume. Is there volume on here? Not hear anything.
there is, but it's not that big of a deal.
Okay, I've got the volume up and turned on. But anyway, get a feel for it. This looks great, though.
It's right to the right of the pause sign.
No, I've got it there. Yeah, it's all the way up.
Huh.
Probably my fault.
No, it's okay. Get a feel for it, though. This looks awesome.
It's super awesome.
I'd live there.
Yeah.
Come on, we got lots for sale.
I'm in, man. I'll buy.
Yeah, you got the beach right behind you, it looks like.
Your architect put this together.
Yeah, which I've never really used an architect to do all that, but he did an exceptional job. It's also going to help him get a couple of these opportunities to be the architect for some of these builds. But
Sweet.
But yeah, I wanted the developer to feel like he's looking at something completed, and what it would kind of showcase, and how it would feel, where you can sell lots almost with the vision of, hey, this is what it's going to look like. So it worked. We've got the listing. We've sold 10 of them so far. Just put a $5 million Gulfront lot under contract. So it's worked.
That's excellent. Yeah. Well, again, I think that's where we come in. This isn't what the builders, they're not thinking this way. I mean, you know what I mean? They're not marketers, they're builders. I mean, they don't know video, they don't know tech, they don't know all these different things that, again, we all are learning, you know, all the time. That's awesome. Look at that.
Wow.
Give them a feel for here's what this could be. Give them a vision. Cast a vision for the builder. You know, get that small builder that's thinking 3, 4, 5 homes a year. Wow, wait, I could do something like this with your help. We team up, we partner up, we do something like that's awesome. Yeah,
Which,
very cool.
TJ, sounds like a lot of what you did. You're just, like you said, giving them the belief to believe in themselves. Like, hey, we're partners. I'm going to help you do this.
Yep. All you're doing is bringing them a value add. You're just bringing value to them and taking a bunch of the stuff that scares them off their plate and letting them do what they are really good at. And they take the bait, man. Like that's what they want. And at the end of the day, you'll end up creating some pretty great relationships. And some of the people we've built for have become more family to me than my own family. And it's just really kind of given me a different scope of how real estate works. And, you know, we do a lot of land deals now, which we weren't very land prevalent when I came on board with Nathan 8 years ago. And now, you know, we're kind of known as the dirt guys, you know, of putting deals together. So, you know, it gives you a captive audience. You're always, if you've got developments in the fold, you've always got listings in the fold, and it gives you that captive look. And it also, I mean, I don't know if everybody on here is with EXP, but it does help with the attraction side of things too. You know, because people are like, hey, this is amazing, and you can give them inventory and show them, hey, we're not just a 1 year person. Like we've got runway of listings for the next 10 years that we know we're going to come into the fold. So we aren't gonna die on the vine. You know, like we've got pipe.
Out here on the grind, chasing dreams in the sun, from the Gulf to the hills. Yeah, we're getting